The Lutin Chronicles, Chapter 13, The Goblins Who Saved Solstice, by Oren Otter. Hamal was a very happy badger. It had been 3 months since he'd come to the Alpha Omega Federation with a large number of the citizens of Fir Bluffs. And while he did miss his old home, this one was also extremely nice. The people here were of widely varied species, much as his own were. They were also unusually friendly. The majority of the people here were some type of goblin, but where normal goblin society was rather cutthroat in its squabblings and scrabblings, these goblins were very different. They had respect for all life and practiced a lifestyle of virtue. Hamal was pleased to be part of such a nation, and of course, being part of the governing council didn't hurt. Over the last 3 months, Hamal and his animal friends had been part of a construction project. With the help of the goblins and their assorted allies, they had built themselves a new town right next to the highway, halfway between Singing Pony and North Hunger. At the heart was an enormous storehouse, home to a great food bank. The harvest had been kind this year, and the storehouse was filled to overflowing. This day, Rugi and Jun were preparing the final component of the storehouse, a freezing charm which would allow them to store raw meat and vegetables indefinitely. "These charms are very hard to come by," said Rugi in his slurred speech. Having been stone-deaf until very recently, he still wasn't quite used to speech. "They have a very distinctive type of quartz, of a very specific size and shape, and they have to pass through the digestive tract of a snowman." "That's very interesting," said Hamal. "So be very, very careful with it, because it can't be replaced." "I understand." Rugi installed the charm at the apex of the ceiling with the help of an elephant. Jun prepared his spell. He had to be careful to get it just right. Ever since the Sonshara capstone had been installed at Sky Valley Castle, the entire Federation had become more magical, and Jun found every spell he cast was stronger than usual. He didn't want to freeze the entire room, not directly anyhow. With very precise hand gestures and a very deliberately spoken incantation, Jun cast his spell, which was absorbed by the crystal, turning it into a working freezing charm. The air in the room became very cold and the walls began to frost. "We did it!" exclaimed Rugi. "It's all done," proclaimed Hamal. There was only one thing left to do. Stepping outside, Hamal climbed up a set of stairs to a second-story balcony. "Ladies and gentle creatures," he addressed, "it gives me great pleasure to announce that the cold storage room is now operational." The crowd, mostly talking animals, cheered wildly. "And with the completion of the food bank, it is my privilege to dedicate to the service and well-being of our new friends at the Alpha Omega Federation this new city of bounty." Again, great cheering. Quargle the Bugbear Goblin met Hamal on the way down. "I thought you were going to call it New Fir Bluffs." "Some wanted to," said the Badger Mayor, "but it just didn't seem right when the old Fir Bluffs is still there." K-Rock was there, clapping merrily in celebration of the completion of both the food bank and the town. Soapok was there as well, perched on his father's shoulder in bat form, as many of the werebat children preferred when among the talking animals. The speech booster, which Nashira the potion-making rabbit produced, had made the bat form all the more preferable, as the children no longer needed to become Lutins to speak to one another. "Hey, Soapok!" one of the bats called from a nearby tree. "Want to go to Sky Valley with Grackle and me? We're going to look for treasure in the mountains." Soapok turned to K-Rock. "Can I, Dad?" "Be home in time for supper," said the captain, "and take a scarf. It's cold up there." "Thanks, Dad." And with that, K-Rock's adopted son went off to play with the other bats. Marcus, the human trader, approached K-Rock. "I've seen many things in my day," he said. "I've seen flying whales and trolls the size of a pea, but I've never seen anything like this new country you have here where the children turn into bats and nobody even blinks." "We've been blessed," said K-Rock. "Vertarbna has enriched us by bringing us all sorts of wonderful things and people, not the least of which is yourself." "Well, I thank you, Mr. Chairman." K-Rock still wasn't comfortable with that title. "I still prefer captain," he said. "Can you be a captain when the old army is dissolved and you outrank everyone in the new one?" "I came here as a captain," said K-Rock. "But you're a king now, and a high king at that. Would you call a private once he made corporal?" "I see your point, though those functions are rather flexible in our military. Or, rather, they were." Algene came to stand next to Marcus. "He's right, you know. Now that Nasaj is out of the picture, the people need a strong leader. Embracing a new title may help preserve hope for the future." "Noted," said K-Rock. "But that's a matter for another time. Today is a day for celebration, and I hear that Nous the camel has a cafe which serves a mean mulled cider." And the three men, Human, Lutin, and Cyclops, walked off together to share a drink. Meanwhile, Booley was headed through town in a different direction. On his shoulders, clutching his ear with one hand, sat Kara, another of the werebat children. "Are you feeling hungry?" Booley asked. "Uh-huh," Kara replied. "Can we have some nuts?" "Anything for you, my dear." He let Kara steer him towards an otter who was selling roasted chestnuts. "A big one," said Booley, "to split." "Hey, I know you," said the otter. "Kara Fire Eyes, isn't it?" "Nope," said the girl with a giggle. "My name is Charlie." "Oh, well, I happen to know Kara has a birthday coming up, so I was going to give her some candied almonds. But if you're not her—" "I'm really Kara," said the girl with a laugh. "Are you now? Trying to pull a fast one on old Stitchula, are you?" "There now," said the otter, handing up a cone full of confections as Booley bent down. "Happy birthday, lass." "Thank you," said Kara brightly. "We're headed to Prijapati's toy shop next," said Booley, "to pick out something really special for the birthday girl." "I'm sure it'll be extra special if it's for a princess like her," remarked Stitchula. "Bye now, and don't get any sweeter, little lady, or you'll melt when you get wet." Prijapati's shop was a wonder to behold, especially for goblin children. Toys for goblins tended to be crude and violence-oriented. Most of the werebat children had never seen a toy in their lives, having been raised very Spartanly. In point of fact, no one actually knew when Kara's birthday was, as the Yurasa did not celebrate, nor even mark birthdays. Booley had given her the opportunity to pick any day of the year for her birthday. Cleverly, she picked 3 days before winter solstice, so that everything would be festive and decorated for her birthday. Prijapati was a beaver and an expert gnawer. She enjoyed carving all sorts of intricate toys for the children, from dolls to trains to musical instruments to monsters to games. She also had a son about Kara's age, and thus was very familiar with children's tastes. Nobody didn't like going to Prijapati's. "Welcome," said the beaver warmly to the Lutin and his daughter. "Oh, and isn't this the birthday girl now? Welcome, Kara." "Hello, Mrs. Beaver," replied Kara. In the next room, Prijapati's son became curious about the unfamiliar voice. He liked to meet new people, especially kids. Adjusting his glasses to see her better as Booley set her on the floor, the beaver boy said, "Hi, my name is Tsi. What's yours?" "I'm Kara," said the girl, extending her left hand. Tsi extended his right and immediately noticed that on her right was only an empty sleeve. "Whoa, what happened to your arm?" asked Tsi. Kara suddenly became self-conscious. "I was born this way." "Tsi," Prijapati chided, "that's not polite." "I'm sorry," said the beaver boy. "I didn't mean anything by it. I think it's cool. I mean, if you don't have an arm on one side, you can replace it with any kind of arm you want, right? Makes sense, said Bully. Hey, do you like trains? Yeah, Kara replied, especially the fast ones. I got a really cool train set my mom made. Let's play with it. It runs on steam and everything.